This design is goated, but they don't want you to know the truth. Origin Palkia, and I guess we can include Origin Dialga as well, the two ultimate forms of a legendary duo from Diamond and Pearl. During the nearly eternal lead up to the Sinnoh remakes, everybody was curious of what an alternate form of these Pokemon would look like, given that Primal Groudon and Kyogre were cool, but more or less the same body shapes. Oh yeah, also there was a Primal Dialga in the Mystery Dungeon games, but those are spin-offs. Anyway, with the release of Pokemon Legends Arceus, we finally got our answer, and they are amazing in my opinion. Obviously, when they officially debuted, or when they first leaked if you were taking a little sneaky peek, the fan reception around them was less than stellar. Even today, there isn't really a lot of love for them, but I see the vision. I absolutely love Origin Palkia. I'm not the biggest fan of Origin Dialga, but let me yap about the horse for a bit.
Horses are back for a limited time.
Now, the main four legendary Pokemon from Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum are so different from any others. Sure, other legendaries will have control over one earthly aspect or represent one thing or another, but Palkia, Dialga, Giratina, and Arceus are so very connected to creation myths in the Pokemon world. Generation 4 was the first time we saw those concepts really being developed, and the Pokemon themselves take their design and origins, well, from religion. Not necessarily one religion in particular, they really cast a decently wide net, and made them cohesive Pokemon designs that work in universe, but they're also general enough that just anybody can look at these and tie them into their own respective legends. And I think that is such a cool idea, but sometimes you can't deny these specific influences. Especially with that apocalyptic painting that they decided to use for the TCG, I can't even comprehend that, that's so crazy. With the dragons specifically, it was interesting that they were dragons in the first place. And then Arceus is, you know, whatever it is. The origin forms of Palkia and Dialga are meant to fall more in line with the body shape of Arceus. With how Palkia is now quadrupedal, thus losing its arms, and Dialga's legs have become longer and a bit more graceful. And of course they both have a ring around their torso the same way Arceus does. Their Pokédex entries even back this up. These are written from the perspective of Professor Laventon, so there's some question to the legitimacy of the analysis, especially for legendary Pokemon like this. But the point of them is to put that idea into the head of a player. Though like I said, I'm not as big a fan of Dialga because it still feels too similar to the base form. One of the reasons I love Palkia is because it's so different. I mean, was that not the thought process when it came to Giratina? That they're both different body types, so it drives home just how ancient they are and how much they've changed? I also think having a big horse guy is a fun idea for a legendary. There's really something about there being a powerful creature that kind of resembles what we know in the natural world, but is very much not the same. I know I said that their designs aren't meant to resemble one specific creation myth, but Palkia really reminds me of how heavenly beings are often described, being a mashup of various other animals or even humans. And there before me I saw a creature with the legs of a horse, the body of a man, the face of a dragon, and the wings of an eagle. Around its body was a ring, like that of the Creator. Gatorex 213. Making the origin designs lean even more into that indescribable look makes them feel much more awe-inspiring and imposing. The actual battle against these Pokemon are some of my favorites, mostly because this was the time Game Freak decided to try out boss battles where you go 1v1 against a Pokemon. For the gameplay to be so non-Pokemon, the design also being so made it work out. I mean, it looks like a boss battle out of a different fantasy game. Back when I played Generation 4, I actually chose Pokemon Pearl version, and so Palkia was waiting for me at Spear Pillar, but I was never the craziest about the design. Honestly, I think it had better representation elsewhere. The video game sprite and the official 2D art, heck, the modern 3D model also just makes it look a bit too static. That might be why Reshiram and Zekrom the generation after had a lot more going on in their designs. Might be a bit too busy, but even when they're just standing still, there feels like there's a bit of movement. Also, Ilka, why did you use the lame battle background for Palkia in Shining Pearl compared to Dialga and Brilliant Diamond? You really aren't doing it any favors. In other official art we would see later for Palkia, they did fix it by adding a bit more flair. It's really just a matter of his Pokemon looking a lot better in motion. I mean, remember its appearance in Rise of Darkrai? And oh my gosh, the sound that it made in the anime was too good. I did do a video looking into where that sound came from a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. I won't spoil it, but I will say that the main high-pitched sound comes from an unexpected place. It isn't a horse or anything close, but I like that retroactively it can kind of pass as a neigh mixed with a draconic roar that fits the origin form so well. And hey, recently some people on Twitter are even just making the base design quadrupedal, which is actually a genius idea. I'll link those below and you should definitely check them out. So in Pokemon Legends Arceus, when I first stood face to face with Origin Palkia, I was ecstatic. And sure, this is another case of a Pokemon that really needs to be in motion or at least pose better than standing still in order to work. But I think that aside from the 3D model that everyone based their opinions on when they first leaked, it achieves it pretty well. The standard art is actually pretty perfect, having one leg bent and making the angle not so dead on. More recently, as I've been getting back into the trading card game once again, I can't help but see this Pokemon everywhere. For one thing, Pokemon gave our partner local stores this window cling that uses Palkia's art, so it welcomes me every time I go there for an event. And also the current Palkia V and V-Star are pretty good. I tend to play water decks often, and it makes a great little energy engine with its ability and can even be a decent attacker in the right situation. At the moment, I'm really having fun on TCG Live with a Feraligatr deck, and it pairs well with Origin Palkia. So this legendary is allowing me to use my favorite Pokemon in one of my favorite spin-off games. And really, the typing is what made me realize it takes a spot in my favorites. Dragon and Water is just straight up my ideal type combination, so between Origin Palkia and Walking Wake, I'm absolutely spoiled in the Nintendo Switch generation. Now we just need Mega Feraligatr to join the party. I meant for this video to be primarily about Palkia, though I did bring up Dialga a little. It is just that I don't have the same relationship with both of these Pokemon. I think Dialga is cool, but as I mentioned, I feel that when it comes to their origin forms, Palkia is able to do something truly unique and do it pretty well. Obviously, everyone is entitled to their own opinions, and I'll admit that these designs are very polarizing. You either don't like them, or you've had your third eye open and you can understand them on a deep and personal level that's ascending into heaven. Am I just a horse girl for Palkia? The point is that I honestly really do love this Pokemon design so much, and I think it fits perfectly into Legends Arceus, with all the additional world building and lore that it introduced while still remaining weird and mysterious, actually even more than the original was. So let me know what you think in the comments below. What's your opinion on this Pokemon? Is it one that you warmed up to over time, or have you just kind of moved on? And tell me if you have any cool memories with Dialga that kind of fills in whatever gaps I may have left with this video being so focused on Palkia. Hey, maybe that one's your favorite of the duo or trio, so sound off in the comments below and let me know. Anyway, I should probably get back to the Heavenly Stables and continue caring for my horse. Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, especially the great Gators. DeAndre, GigaWiiU64, Claude Singh, Waterliumiz, Mazhar Siddiqui, Cosmo Zero, Justin Dowes, Mr. Saturn, Rainfrux, Cheez-It62, Swiss Cheese Shiny Hunter, Michael Snyder, Lockadox, Gallantry, GatorKid509, TF, Cheeseburger Lasers, Mathaclog947, Nomad Nobi, Pastel Blood, Taijirai, Justin R, Phantom, and Quago. If you would like to support so your name here gets some access to emotes for comments, live streams, and sometimes early videos, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter as well for more memes. Anyway, this is GatorX, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later.
Travel to a mythic space and time in the Pokemon trading card game, Sword and Shield Astral Radiance. Each booster pack